Well, hello there everyone, welcome back to another video, and I've had kind of a little spin-off of another video I recently did. Actually, this is kind of like a combination of two videos. So I did the no practice routine, and I talk about learning the, essentially the intervals of your notes. And then there was one a while back, the shape works everywhere, and I thought, you know, the shape is great. You know, learning a pattern or a shape on the guitar is extremely powerful. And I'm like, but you know, it's really not to its full potential unless you learn what notes you're actually playing. I'm not saying you need to know every single note you ever play. You can't just play something because it sounds good, because that's 90% of what I do. But I know that just having a little bit of knowledge makes this, makes it so much more powerful. So that's what we're going to talk about. You can grab the tabs down below. You can check out my free guitar course if you want to. It kind of deals with this scalier approach that we're going to talk about, so you might get something out of it as well. But let's go ahead and jump into this one and talk about what what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the pattern I mentioned in another video. So basically, it was this. If you took something and we'll do everything out of A major. Sorry, I know what I want to do, but I'm like, did I pick a key? So I'm just gonna pick A major. And it was this pattern essentially. And this pattern is everywhere. You can move it around, and it'll stay in key. But I don't know if I really talked about what notes we were technically playing, like what is really lying underneath there. So let me turn my clean on, no distortion for this one. But so if we broke down what we were playing here, the frets, or whatever you want to call them, the notes would be right here. That's the 7th fret, which is an A note. Then we're going to this E note here, which is 9th fret on the G. Back to another A, and then back to 7 on the high string. Now, other than just knowing the frets that we just played, what did we play? You know, we know the notes, but still, just knowing the notes doesn't necessarily mean anything, you know. And this is where another thing that could really tie into this is chord construction, the notes that actually make up a chord. But we'll save that for another day, because I feel like you need to know this first before you can know what the chords are even talking about. But so essentially, this is our root note. Now we're getting our 5th. We have another root, and then we have our 2. Now, if you notice, it's like, well, where's our 3rd? There's no 3rd there. Well, that's because this is a suspended 2nd chord, a sus2 chord. If you don't know what a sus2 chord is, it is essentially when you take a major chord and replace the 3rd. You can replace it with your 2nd, make it a sus2. You could replace your 3rd with a 4th and make it a sus4. You know, you can use your perfect 4th in there if you want to. Now, what I'm talking about here is, as far as knowing what we did here, knowing what each note is can be very powerful. Because, for example, if I have this pattern, that's going to sound really good over an A sus2. I think I need to tune up real quick. There we go. Much better. I was a little bit funky on you. So, so we have this, and I said, and that's going to sound really good. It's going to sound good over a lot of stuff. But for example, A sus2, of course, it's going to sound good. But what if our next chord was E major, and we're just using the pattern, the shape. And okay, so it's like, okay, so we take this, we root it off of our E. Now it's there, but what if you wanted to perfectly outline an E major chord? Well, if you know where all your notes are, and at least the value of them, I know that that's my 2, and to make it a 3rd, I just need to move it up to there. So I could outline an A major, an E major, or the E sus2, E sus4. You know, so hopefully you can kind of see where I'm getting at. You know, having that little bit of knowledge can vastly take it from, this is just a shape I know that sounds good over an E chord, to this is a shape that I can manipulate all over the place. So this is kind of like the intro to the lesson. But that's what we're talking about. So think about that for a second, and I'm going to show you really how to get all this stuff under your fingers and really know where your intervals are. Okay, so there's 2 main ways to me to learn the major scale. You can do it a 3-note per string version, which is how I started it, and then later I learned the more traditional, like if we're doing A major. Oh, sorry. The box shape. Now, the boxier pattern is actually very useful for intervals, for chords. And the other one I think is very, useful for shapes. Maybe a little bit more than the other one. So I think learning both is very, very key. So I'm going to show you both ways, and I recommend doing it both ways. So we're going to go simply 5, 7, 9 on the low E string. Now this is all key of A major. Then you're going to go 5, 7, 9 on the D. I'm sorry, on the A. And then 6 on the D. Okay, so. Now that would be your entire A major scale right there. That's your 7 notes that you need. So there's our 7 notes. Okay, so that is our A major scale, 7 notes. Now each note has its own name, and these are, going to help you identify your intervals and all kinds of very, very crucial things. Now the other way you could play the A major scale is this way. You could go 5, 7, and then 4, 5, 7. Then you would go to 4, 6 on the D. Now, like I said, that's very useful for like chords. I feel like, and I think the 3-note per string one is very useful for actual shapes. Just kind of moving around like what I did here before. Whatever you're doing with it. But basically, our notes are going to be your root, your 1. Now this is your 2, your 3, your 4, perfect 4th, we want to call it, 5th, perfect 5th, your 6th, and then your 7th. Now, out of all of them, they all actually have chords associated with them. We're not going to cover that today. If you don't know it, it's super, super useful stuff to have underneath your fingers. But basically, we just want to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, knowing what these notes are. So the next thing you have to do is you have to know, well, what exactly am I playing? What note am I playing? You're going to be playing your root, so that's your A note. Next note is your B. You have a C sharp. You have a D. You have an E. You have an F sharp. And then you have a G sharp. Now, a lot of people start with the key of C because there are no sharps and flats. It's a natural key. I don't know. I like G and A better. So you have those now. Now, what I recommend doing is continue the scale up through the octaves, but make sure you are, either out loud. I recommend saying it out loud, or you could just kind of say it in your head. But continue your scale. And say what note you're actually playing. So I recommend going, okay, so A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, and then there's your G sharp, and then it starts over again. A, B, C sharp, okay? And you just keep going with it all the way up. So that would be your D, there's your E again. Now we're doing the 3-note per string one, and that's going to be your F sharp, there's your G sharp, back to A, and it keeps going. Now the whole scale would be like this. So 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, 6, 7, 9, 6, 7, 9. What is this? 7, 9, 10, and 7, 9, 10. So that's your entire A major with octaves, 3-note per string version of the scale. And I'm gonna get the ascendant and descendant. And get to where if you just play a note, can you identify it? Okay, that's my E, that's my 5th. It's stuff like that. Oh, back at my root. Oh, there's my 2. Now, one thing that can get a little bit confusing is as you progress through the octaves, they don't just keep going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You end up, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, stuff like that. Honestly, I don't view them that way. I view it as a continuation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if that's correct or incorrect. I'm sure if you are like studying music or something like that, maybe that's not the right way to do it. I just knew it was too many numbers for me to remember. Basically, I'm like, I don't know. I just know I play that. I know that's my 2. That's my B note out of the scale, so I know that's my 2. Okay, so there we have that now. Now that is just one position, but I recommend really learn it, because if you look at it, oh, that shape is inside of that. Okay, so like I said, now, before, you just had to trust me that I knew what I was saying, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing to do or not, but you had to trust that I was telling you, oh, this is a root, this is a 5th, this is a root, this is a 2. Now you know. You have the numbers in front of you. Okay? So we know that, okay, he wasn't lying. That was he being me. I'm talking like third person or whatever that's called. You know, oh, that is our root. That's our E note. That is our fifth. Oh, it's another root. That's our B note. Oh, that's our 2. I was telling the truth. Look at that. So that is an A sus2 chord right there. Now, like I said, if I wanted to make it an A major chord, you need to, like I said, this is where understanding chord construction is really gonna, you know, tie in with all this stuff. But you won't know what notes to play. You know, if you have the formula for the chord, you won't know what notes to play if you don't know what's your third, what's your fifth, all that. So that's maybe a lesson for another day. But if I wanted to make it an A major, I'd get rid of my 2, replace it with my third. Or maybe I want it to be an A sus4. Right there. You know, again, and you just kind of start improvising with it. But it's so crucial to do that. And like I said, go back, learn the more box shape of it, of your major scale, and be like, okay, so there's my root, that's my A, that's my 1, there's my 2, there's my 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just keep going through it. Do it all over the place. Now, the next thing you do is you learn a new shape of your scale. You move up position. Now, these are turning into modal patterns once you go up to the next one, which is, you know, often going to be referred to probably as your Dorian shape, or you're simply starting on a new note. So first was your A major or Ionian. The next one is still your A major scale. This gets confusing, so I'm not going to get into it. So now what we're going to do is we are going to focus on our pentatonic scale. Odds are you probably already know your pentatonic scale. Now this is where learning just a little bit, even learning those first 7 notes, just to know where the notes are coming from. That I'm not making it all up. You can apply this now to your major scale, because your major scale is made up of 5 notes. I'm sorry, your major pentatonic is made up of 5 notes, and your major scale is made up of 7. So obviously those 5 notes from the pentatonic scale are inside of your major scale. You're just adding 2 notes. So now we could break this down. So if we wanted to do our A major pentatonic scale, you know, basing it off of the root. Okay, oh sorry. That would be your A major pentatonic scale. You can do it anywhere. But I'm doing it on the root. So what exactly are we playing here? We are playing our root, which is our A, our 2, which is our B. Then we go all the way down here to your major third, and we come up here, that's your 5th, and then here's actually your 6th. So those are the 5 notes that make up your A major pentatonic scale. So you could put it all in the 3-note per string idea. It's not 3-note per string anymore, but there it is. So root, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th. That's your pentatonic scale. So any of those pentatonic boxes, like I said, we're talking A major pentatonic here, of course, but sit there and take them. What are these notes? Learn the notes. Okay, so A, B, C sharp, E, and then F sharp. So those are the 5 notes that make up our pentatonic scale. All right, so let's put it into maybe our normal pentatonic boxes that you're used to. So if you're the person who takes your minor pentatonic and slides it down 3 frets, so you're going F sharp or your 6th, going to A note or your 1, the root, going to a B note, which is your 2, going to a C sharp note, which is your major third, and then you end down here on your E note, which is your 5th. So this one is starting on your 6th. And continue it up through the pentatonic shape. So then next, it starts again. 6th, root, 2. What do we hear? That's your major third. Boom, you're back on your 5th. Or sorry, yeah, your 5th. Then there's your 6th again, root. Now, you know your pentatonic scale, so move up. All right, next pattern. What are we doing here? Okay, we're starting on our root. This is the one we did. So we go root, 2, 3rd, 5th. So I'm going fast, I'll slow down. There's your 6th, back to your root, back to your 2, major 3rd. There's your 5th, back to your 6th, root 2. Or box 2 of your pentatonic scale. This stuff helps so much with chord construction, understanding your patterns, your licks, all that stuff. So I'm gonna leave it there because this is gonna be a long-winded video, and I'm probably already talking your ears off. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna bounce on out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. Like I said, this was a really, really crucial one. If you want me to do more theory stuff, let me know. You know, I'll dive into it a little bit. And if you're, you know, a theory aficionado and I'm saying something wrong, please correct me in the comments. I don't want to put wrong information out there. So other than that, I'm gonna bounce out of here, guys. I'm still gonna jam with you here at the end. So until next time, guys, I will see you later, and let's get jamming, yo.